And welcome back. My name's Josh, and today we're back on New Horizons. Hope everyone's doing well. Honestly, I haven't done a whole lot that's exciting this week, except for Wednesday. Now that was a day. You've seen from the title, I'm sure, but I managed to get Raymond and Judy in one miserable day. I actually got Renee as well, welcome, but the poor girl just doesn't pull in the same clickbait. Anyway, I'm sure you've all heard of the campsite method by now. There are far better guides out there than I can make for you right now, but a very quick summary. There are 8 personality types in Animal Crossing, 4 for male villagers, smug, jock, lazy and cranky, and 4 for female villagers, snooty, uchi, normal, peppy. Villagers that come and visit your campsite have a 50% chance to be a personality type that you don't already have living on your island. This means that if you want a specific villager, you can make sure that their personality type is the one that you don't already have. For Raymond, I needed to make sure that I had every personality type but smug. Then for Judy, it was every personality type but snooty. Assuming you have all 7 personalities you don't want showing up in your campsite, you go forward 6 days. Load into Isabel. If she announces a campsite villager, load in. If she announces literally anything else, quit, time travel forward 1 more day, rinse and repeat. When you get a visitor, go in and see who they are. If it's not who you want, jump forward 6 more days, start again. We jumped 6 days initially because after that long, you're maxing out a 20% chance of a campsite villager every day you load in. So sometimes you'll find one almost immediately, sometimes it'll take 10 or so resets to see the announcement. You won't have a repeat of the same villagers in your campsite until you've had a visit from every villager of that personality type. After you've had them all, it will reset and you'll be able to see all of them again in a new order. That means if you've already been visited by Raymond or Judy, or maybe you've seen a few campsite notices from Isabel that you've never bothered to check, even if you didn't visit the tent or speak to them, if they've already visited, you will need to meet all villagers again to have a chance for them to return. Luckily, it turned out that I hadn't had Raymond or Judy visit because I got them in decent time without repeats. Renee was different though. I had to see about 12 Uchi villagers before I started seeing repeats, meaning I'd seen them all when they'd reset, and then I got Renee on about my 5th Uchi villager after the reset. But back over in Oblivion, I didn't really know what I was in for. I guess you could say I was optimistic. It didn't go too bad at the start. First, I had to even out on my villagers. I didn't have a smug villager or an Uchi villager. So I had to make sure I had an Uchi moved in, so I was getting as many smugs as possible visiting the campsite. I'd already moved in Poncho last week in preparation for having a jock villager, so my Charlize amiibo gave me an Uchi villager, and onward we went. First villager was O'Hare. Fair. Reset. Next, a visit from my nation's capital, Canberra. Patriotism at its finest. Reset. Chatter almost stopped me in my tracks with New Leaf nostalgia, but I moved on from my old cheesy friend. For Chops, Ellie, Mitzi, Phil, Bangle, Big Top. At this point, I was getting a rush of unfounded confidence and feeling like I might be psychic and just about to get Raymond. Next was Egbert. Slight hit to the confidence, granted, but then on my 11th villager, there he was, our favourite heterochromic feline. After a serious gaming session back and forth and a seeming unwillingness to join me, he was moving in. All was great. Or was it? So, the guide I read had very simple instructions. They actually bolded and underlined this section. Did I read it? No. Did I read everything around it somehow? You bet I did. Let this be a warning to you. If someone is moving into your village, do not time travel 2 days in a row. You know when you ask someone to move in after moving a day forward when there's a sold plot and the house is being built? That's actually really important. If you skip past that day, or even if you don't log in at all, if you somehow don't time travel, that respect, the new villager will move into the house of the old resident, taking their old house exterior. They still have their new house interior, but my Raymond now lives in a friggin' barn house. Hopefully by the time you watch this video, I will have already traded him to my friend's switcher back again to fix the exterior, but please someone learn from my suffering. You probably all know already. Anyway, renewed with confidence in my psychic ability, I knew Judy was just around the corner too. 11 villagers? Easy. I had the gift of delusion. Annalise? Snooty. Perfect. Reset. Gail? Puppy? Claudia? Another snooty. Claude, Gaston, Tabby, Drake, and Roald followed. I was still so obnoxiously drunk on my own Raymond glory, note that I still hadn't worked out at this point that I'd messed up the house exterior, but I didn't bother checking the personality of the villagers I was getting. I'd just write them down and keep going, assuming most of the females must have been snooty. I did another 15 villagers before I got a clue what was going on. Yes, 15. Astrid, Rooney, Rattle, Vladimir, Avery, Bonbon, Frank, Kashmir, Anacotti, Stella, Ribbit, Boris, Miranda, Mary, and Molly. I knew I was definitely getting too many boys, so I decided to pause and work some stuff out. Since Raymond, I'd only gotten 5 snooty villagers out of 24. I was doing something wrong. I had a look around, and lo and behold, you may have noticed this already. Anka, who I had thought about the day before, and how I'd have to temporarily move her out to get Judy. Anka, who I'd forgotten to move out. And it meant that I now had a completely even chance of every personality type. After a brief rage quit and a moment of acceptance about my clear lack of psychic ability, it was back on the road. I decided to read the guide in more detail at this point, and this is when I realized I'd relegated my Raymond to Joey's old barn house. Alas, confidence destroyed, my mission was back on. I'd also now learned that inviting my snooty villager amiibos to the campsite would cross them off the list of possibilities, so I spent 3 days calling Francine, Eloise, and Mallory to the campsite, the only other snooty cards I had. Now, there isn't a huge, interesting story from here. I was doing things correctly, the rest was just time and effort. My hit rate for snooty got much better, and even though I trust the guide I used way more than myself, I feel like I was getting more than 50% snooty. Here's how it all went. Simon and Olive first, confidence low. Timber then Queenie, good times. Bruce, Blanche, Frida, then Olivia, at least I knew it was working now. Hopkins visited, then Apollo, and then we got a lot luckier. Freya, Biddy, Pearl, Whitney, then Pecan, 5 snooty in a row. Lolly, Ricky, and Twiggy ruined the streak, but then we had a very strong rebound with Kitty, then Diana, Blair, Amelia, Tipper, Elise, Velma, Greta, Portia. At least at this point, even if I wasn't getting Judy, things were good. I really do recommend this method. Well, sorry, no, correction. I recommend doing this method properly from the beginning. Honestly, I used a similar shot-in-the-dark strategy with my flower field. I laid the whole thing down before realizing I'd missed a type of flower. So, I moved them all up by 1 square, took forever, but I didn't bother double-checking if I was missing any other flowers. Well, I was. I was actually missing 3 other colors. I had to shift every single flower up or down by 1 on 4 separate occasions, because not once did I look at a picture of hybrids that was a 10-second Google away. Is there a life lesson in this? Just double check things. Triple check, even. You know what? Just check. Even once. Next visit came Tasha, Pierce, Bo, and Pudge. Jeremiah, Tia, and Barbara followed. I was up to 70 total for the day, deliriously tired and bored, and I'd just finished Westworld Season 2. Was I ready to stomach Episode 1 of Season 3? Did I want to stop for food? Was I just thirsty and not really hungry? It was hard to say. I was distracted as anything when I hit the jackpot. I have to say, I started the day wanting Raymond a lot more than Judy, but seeing those gleaming little eyes was by far the most satisfying moment I have had on New Horizons so far. About 10 hours after starting, for what probably should have taken me about 3 or 4 hours, I had gotten the 2 villagers I wanted. The next part isn't so glamorous. The sun had come up, I was questioning my sanity. An hour later, Renee had moved in too. To be fair, there were only 24 Uchi villagers in total, so it's an easy search. After seeing about 12 Uchi villagers, I saw my first repeat. The delightful Hazel. And Renee was only a few after that. Please, learn from my mistakes. And frankly, the amount I see people paying for Raymond and Judy on trading sites, just do this instead. A few hours of your life are a lot better than however long it takes you to save up a small fortune of Nook Mile tickets. Or, take advantage of the broken economy and do this to find Raymonds and Judys to sell. Or something. I don't know. Honestly, this whole intense trading environment of New Horizons is something I was not mentally prepared for. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thank you so much for the nice responses to my last video too. I really appreciate it. It's weird to know people are actually watching my little videos. Please stay safe and I'll see you soon.